Good morning students. In this video I am going to teach you an important topic in unit 2, that is function, right, functions in Python. So it is an important topic. So based on this particular topic university questions has asked in several year question papers. So this is an important topic. So under this particular function you are going to see about all these things. Right, first thing is about the definition of function, second thing is the need, why we are using function, or what is the need for using function, or you can mention it as what is the use or advantage of using function. Okay. So next is about the types of function. So under types you are having two that is functions are categorized into two broad categories. One is built-in function, another one is user defined function. So in this particular video we are going to concentrate much on this particular topic, right, user defined function, how to create a user defined function. So in order to create a user defined function, what are the syntax needed, right, so what are the important components of function. So all these things are going to be explained clearly. So next is about the flow of execution. It will explain how the function, whenever you are using a function in a particular program, how the execution will be done. Okay. So finally about an example for function. So these are the things we are going to study in this particular video. Okay. So the first thing is about the definition. So definition of function. So functions are set of related statements that will perform a specific task. Okay. So this is the actual definition in order to define a function. Okay. So a function, so it contains some set of statements, set of programming statements. With the help of that particular statement, that function will do a specific task, right. So for example, if I need to get an input for a particular program, the input statements can be written inside a function, as well as the calculation can be written inside another one function, right. The output displaying statements can be that is written inside another one function. Likewise, we can divide the function into more than one small units. Okay. So that is the main concept of function. Okay. So it helps to break program into small units. That small units is otherwise called as modules. So that this function concept, it is otherwise called as modular programming. So in your university question paper, the question may be in the form of direct form, that is explain in detail about function, or explain about user defined function in detail. If the question is asked like this, it will be considered as a direct question. Okay. So indirectly, if the question want to be asked, means they will ask the question by using this name, explain about modular programming in Python, or how will you implement modular programming in Python, means you need to explain about the same concept about function. Okay. For function, the concept is, that is the method used to implement a function is called as modular programming. Okay. So main thing of using this function is to divide a big problem into small units. Each and every small unit is called as module, and each module will do a specific task. Okay. So but till now we have studied some examples, or under some concept we have seen some program. So the program will contain only the main portion, right. We are getting the input, we are doing the calculation, we are displaying the result, right. So that is, we have concentrated only on the main portion of the Python program. But whenever if you are entering into the concept of function, your program will contain two parts. One is the function part, another one is the main part. Likewise, you will have two parts in your program. Okay. So you can write a program by using the concept of function. So why we are using function, or what is the use of using function, or what are the advantages of using function, means you are having some advantages, right. The first one is, that is if you are using the concept of function, it is easy to debug. Debug means finding errors. Finding errors in the program will be easy. Next one is testing. So why we are saying that testing is easy, means we are implementing the program as a small module. So the small modules can be tested separately. If there is a modification in the small part, we can only need to change the portion under the small portion, not the complete entire program, so that testing will be easy. Another one is maintenance. So maintenance means in order to maintain, on seeing the that is a function header itself, we can able to understood. So this particular function is developed for this purpose likewise. Okay. For example, if I am giving a name of a function as add, I can able to understand the function is to do addition. If I am giving the name as subtraction, I can able to understood the function is to do subtraction. Likewise, on seeing the name of the function itself, we can able to predict what was implemented inside that particular function. So that represents the maintainability. Okay. So it is easy to debug, finding errors, testing and maintenance of the function is easy. Next is by using the concept of function, it eliminates the repetitive code, right. So repetitive code means, for example, if you want to get input of a particular student or student detail as input means, for a complete class you need to get the input, means you need to get the details of each and every student separately. Suppose how many times you need to get the input statement and print statement, that is several number of times. For example, if a class contains some 60 students and for each student if you need to get some 3 detail means, that is name, department and address. If you need to get the details of each, that is 60 students with these 3 details, you need to write as many number of input statements. Okay. So in order to avoid that, we are writing it for one student and that particular code must be written inside a function, means you can call the function again and again for 60 times. Okay, no need to write the same 3 statements repetitively for 60 students. Instead of that, you are writing the 3 statements once and the 3 statement was used for the 60 students, right, in order to get the details of 60 students. Okay. So that is here mentioned as repetitive code. We can avoid writing such repetitive code in our program. So if you are avoiding repetitive code means automatically our program length will be smaller. That is the number of lines present in a program will get shortened. Okay. So that is this point, length of the program is reduced. Okay, due to this if we are avoiding the repetitive code, so that automatically the length of our program will become that is smaller. Okay. So next thing is code reusability. Again the same point down. We are avoiding the repetitive code and we are writing the code as a frame, right. Once we are writing the code, the same code was used for 60 students to get 60 different inputs. Okay, that is called as reusability. The main advantage of function is reusability. Okay. Next one is testing small parts can be done easily, right. Since we are implementing function as a small portion, as a module, testing can be done on modules in an easier way. So these are the different, you can mention all these points under use of function or advantages of function or why we are using function. For example, in your 2 mark center, they may ask what is the need for using function or why we are using function, means you can mention all these points, right. So for all these headings, that is what is the need for function, why we are using function, mention some advantages of function or what is the use of function. So for all these particular topics, you can write these particular points as your answer. Okay. So one is easy to debug, testing and maintain. Eliminate repetitive codes, make the program smaller, code reusability, length of the program is reduced and testing small parts can be done easily. So these are the points you need to include for this particular question. Okay. So next thing is about the types of function. Right. So under function you are having 2 types, right. One is called as built-in function, another one is user defined function. So what is meant by this built-in function means already defined function are called as built-in function. That is during the development of the Python program, the Python developer already defined a lot of functions that can be useful for the user during their programming, right. In order to make the user to use the code easier, the developer has defined lot of functions already, right. So those functions we can use in our program by including an import statement in our program. Okay, with the help of that import statement, we can able to import packages. So inside the packages, you are having lot of functions that was already defined. So those functions are called as built-in function. So for example, if you are taking mathematical functions such as sqrt, So sqrt is a mathematical function. With the help of this function, you can able to find square root of a number. Okay. So like that, you are having another function sin. It is used to find the sin value of a particular number. Okay. So like this, tan, sin, tan, cos, right, floor, seal. Like this, you are having lot of predefined functions regarding mathematical functions. Not only regarding mathematical functions, in order to create random numbers, in order to generate games, you are having lot of predefined functions like this. In order to use this particular function, we need to include an import statement inside our program. With the help of that particular statement, it will link the that is standard library with our program. Okay. So for this function, some examples of predefined functions. You can mention it as built-in function or predefined function, right? So all these functions are also called as predefined function. So what is meant by pre? Pre means already, right? Already defined functions are called as predefined function or built-in function. You can mention it as predefined function or built-in function. Okay. So but these functions was already present, so we can able to use the function. But one thing is, we cannot able to do any modification to this particular function definition. We can use the function as many number of times in our program, but we cannot able to do any modification to this particular function. That is, if I need to, if I try to change the definition of the function square root, it is not possible. I can't able to do that. Okay, that is the drawback of built-in function. Okay. So next thing is about user defined function. So our concentration is on user defined function. Okay, so user defined function. So who is user? The programmer is called as user, right? So depends upon the need of a particular user. Depends upon the need of a particular user, the user can create their own function, okay, with the help of user defined function. Okay. So user defined function is nothing but a particular user, for his or her requirements, depends upon that the particular user is writing their own function, that is called as user defined function. In order to implement a user defined function, so two important components are there. One is function definition, second one is function call. Okay. So without this function definition and function call, we can't able to implement a program using function. But if you want to use a function, you need two important components. One is function definition. First one is function definition. And second one is function call. Okay. So in order to know about this function definition and function call, you need to know how to write the syntax, right? The important thing is, first we can see about function definition. So for function definition, it always starts with the keyword def, right? Def, it is a keyword, you need to write it in small letters, right? It is a keyword def followed by a function name. You can provide any name as function name, okay, function name, and then followed by the parameters. Parameters represent the input. Parameter represent the input taken by this particular function. At the end, you need to represent the symbol colon, right? So but this is the function header, right? Function def, function name followed by parameters, and it ends with colon. So this statement is called as function header. Okay. So inside that you can add statements, as many statements. Statement 1, statement 2, like this you can add as many number of statements inside the particular function. So on the whole, it is called as function definition. Okay, so this is the syntax for defining a function. So the function definition starts with the keyword def followed by function name, and then you need to include the required number of parameters. So parameters, it is not compulsory that all the function will take parameters, right? So it depends upon our logic. If there there is a need to pass parameter or input, we can mention the number of inputs in this particular position, right. If there is no need to pass any input means no need to mention any parameters, simply you can use the parenthesis alone, okay. So anyway, the header it will ends with colon, okay. So but this statement, the first line of the function header, this part is called as function, it is called as function header, and the remaining portion inside the function, right, you need to use a indented space, right. So you need to write the statements present inside the function definition with indented space, right. What is meant by indentation? Leaving a tab space is called as indentation. Why we are using indentation here means it will represent the starting of a particular function, and the first unindented space will say that that is the end of the function. In Python, we are not at all using curly brackets to represent the starting and ending of a block. We are using, instead of that, we are using indentation, okay. So here you want to write the statements present inside the function with proper indentation, that is important, okay. So this space is called as the indented space. But all these statements are represented as function body, okay. So for function definition, in this particular flow, user defined function, it contains two components, function definition and function call. Function definition contains two parts, one is function header, another one is function body, right. So in this syntax, that is mentioned, the first line, DEF line up to that colon, that is mentioned as function header, and the remaining statement, it represents the function body, okay. So for the main use of using this function definition is to define a particular task. So this function definition will have the logic of a particular function, okay. So the implemented version or the implemented part is included in this particular function definition, okay. So next is the second component, that is function call. But if you are defining a function in your program, if there is a need to execute this particular function definition means you need to call the function. Whenever a function is called, at that time only the definition part will get executed. So in order to call a function or in order to make a function to be executed, we are using the second component, function call, okay. So the syntax for function call is simply you need to mention the function name, right, function name followed by arguments, function name followed by arguments, that's all, right. So this is the syntax to call a function. Function name, whatever function name you are used in the definition, the same function name must be used here. Already you know that is Python programming is an case sensitive, right, case sensitive one. So in whatever name provided in this definition, the same name must be provided in the function call also. Along with the parenthesis, you need to mention the arguments, number of arguments, okay. Suppose here if you are using two parameters, here also you need to pass two arguments, okay. So another one thing is, in the function header I was representing the input as parameters, and in the function call I was mentioning it as argument, both are different, okay. So argument means, the definition of argument is the actual value, actual input value is called as argument, right. Actual values are called as arguments, okay. In the same way, parameter means the formal values or dummy values are called as parameters, okay. So from the function call, we are going to pass the actual value. Whenever the function is called, a copy of the actual value will be passed to the parameter, so that it is called as formal or dummy, okay. So for the value, the values present in the function call is called as actual argument, and the values present in the function header or function definition is called as formal parameter. You must know the difference between these two, right. In 2 marks they will ask what is meant by actual parameter and what is meant by, actual argument and formal parameter, right. The only difference is actual argument will present in the function call, right. Formal parameter will present in the function definition, okay. So, right, so but these are the two important syntax you must know how to write a particular function program. Okay. So, but next we can see an example. While explaining the example, I will explain the flow of execution. Okay. So, let us see an example. So, example for function. So, right. So, first you need to define the function. So, in this example I was going to define a function to do addition. Okay. So, a function definition always start with the keyword def, right. Def, I was giving the name of the function is add. Always you want to provide the name of the function regarding to the operation, what you are going inside, what you are going to do inside a function. I was going to do addition, so that I was providing the name as add. You can provide it as addition, right. It is also not at all a matter. So, you need to provide a proper valid name, right, add. And I was going to add 3 numbers, okay. So, I was passing 3 parameters and the first header ends with colon. Everyone understood? Def is the keyword that represents the definition of function followed by the name of the function. Here the name of the function is add, okay. So, inside the parenthesis I was using 3 variables, right, A, B, C. So, but these are the 3 input that I was going to provide for this particular function. What is the name of A, B and C? It is commonly called as formal parameters. Okay, A, B, C are called as the formal parameters. And endly I was placing the colon. Okay. So, next, so inside the function I was introducing another one variable answer. ANS is equal to A plus B plus C. Right, I was going to add 3 numbers here. So, the 3 input values are get added and the result is assigned to the variable ANS. After doing the operation, what should be the next thing? I need to display the result. Okay. So, that followed by that I was writing a print statement, print the sum. Sum, you can write it as sum or sum of 3 numbers, that is up to you, right. So, sum is equal to, the result is present in the variable ANS, I was displaying that variable. Okay. So, but this particular thing is called as a function definition. What is the name of the function? Add. Why I had implemented this function? It is used to add 3 numbers. Okay. So, the function definition part is over. So, but next followed by this, I need to write the main portion. Okay. So, no need to don't forget to leave this particular indentation, that is important. Okay. So, next I was unindenting the next line. Okay. So, for example, I was writing print, I will write it here. So, print enter 2 values, right. So, x is equal to int input. What is the use of you writing int input? It is used to get the integer value as input. Okay. So, 3 values, you need to get 3 values, since I was going to add 3 numbers. Okay. So, input, right. So, x, y and z, so 3 values we are getting it as input. So, after getting the input values, what should be the next thing? In order to make this function part to get executed, what should we need to do? We need to call the function. Okay. So, what is the syntax for function call? You need to use the function name followed by the number of arguments. Okay. So, here I was going to use x, y and z as my argument. Okay. So, what is the name of the function? What is the name? It is add. I was using the function name add followed by the values x, y and z. Okay. So, this is x, y, z is called as actual argument, right. A, B, C is called as formal parameter. Okay. So, but this is called as, this statement is called as a function call. This statement is called as function call. Okay. So, this is the complete program. Okay. So, I had written a function definition and a main program. So, this portion is called as the main portion, and this portion is called as function definition, the function definition part. Okay. So, I was written this particular program and I was executing this program now. So, but during the execution, at which particular line the program execution will begin? not from this particular statement. Okay, so already I had informed you, whenever a function is called at that particular time only the definition will get executed. So you had written the function call as the fifth statement of your main program. Okay, so always keep in your mind, whenever you are executing a program execution will start from the main portion, right? So here this portion is called as your main portion. So this is the starting point of your program execution. Okay, but during your program execution, the first executable statement is this statement, the print statement. Okay, so first you will get the output, whatever present inside the print will be displayed as it is, right? So you will get the output, enter 3 values, it will be displayed as it is. Okay. So next, followed by that we had written 3 input statement. What is the meaning of that? We need to provide 3 input values through the keyboard. For example, we can take 1, 2 and 3. I was passing 3 values as input. Okay. So next, the fifth statement, right? Add x, y, z, right? So but this is called as our function call, right? But whenever a function call statement gets executed, what happen means, the function that is corresponding, the definition of the particular function call will get executed, right? That is explained as flow of execution. Whenever a function is called, what happened, right? What are the internal things that are happening? Okay. So whenever a function is called, we are passing the value of x, y and z. What is the value? Value of x is 1, value of y is 2 and value of z is 3. Right? But whenever a function is called, automatically the function, that is the program control, will be shifted to the definition part. Right? Keep in your mind, whenever a function is called, what happened? Immediately the definition of the function will get executed. Right? So in order to execute the particular function definition, internally some checking will be done by the interpreter. Right? First thing is, it will check whether the function name present in the function call and the function definition are same or not. Whether it is same or not, add, and here also it is add. So first checking is over. So second, it will check for the number of arguments. In the function call, how many arguments are there? 3 arguments are there. So whenever the function definition is called, what happened? The value 1 will be passed to A, 2 will be for B and 3 will be for C, right? Whether the number of arguments are same in function call and function definition, again it is also same, so that the corresponding definition portion will get executed, right? So suppose in the function call, if I am using the name as small a, now what happened? Now, the name of the function present in function call is different from the name of the function mentioned in the function definition. So, now function call doesn't match with the defined function. Right? So, it will show error, that is the called function is not defined. Okay? So, why the error is coming here? The thing is, it is case sensitive, right? Here I have definition I was using capital A, but in the function call I was using small a. So, it will be treated as error. Okay? So, you want to use the same name. Another one thing, if I am passing it like this, if I am passing only less number of argument, x and y, only 2 argument means what happened? So, in this function call, the name of the function and the name present in the definition is same. But the number of argument, the second condition checking is false, right? Here I was passing only 2 argument, but the function is defined with 3 arguments. So, again there is a mismatch. So, the function definition will not get executed. Okay. So, in order to execute a particular function properly, what are the things we need to maintain properly? The function name and the number of argument. The function name and the number of arguments present in the function call must be same as in the definition. Okay. So, now the function call and function definition both are same. We are passing the values, that is a copy of the value from this function call is passed to the function definition. So, this statement will get executed now. What will be the result? You are adding 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay, the result will be stored in the answer as 6. So, followed by that an output statement, print sum. So, I will get the output as sum is equal to 6. So, this will be the output. Have you all understood, ma? right. So, but this is the way that a function will execute. So, another one thing is, in a same program you can include more than one function also, okay. So, let us see, I was defining another one function named as sub, right, and I was passing two arguments here, right. Sub is used to do subtraction, right, a minus b, and I was print the difference. The difference value is present in the variable d, okay. So, now in my program, how many functions are defined? Two functions are defined. One is add, another one is sub. But how many functions are called? Only the function add, right. The sub function I didn't call from the main portion. Then whether the sub function will execute or not, the sub function will not execute, okay. So, until you make a call, function call, the particular function sub will not get execute, right. How can I call the function sub then? Right, you can call the function by adding the function call. The name of the function is sub, and I need to pass two values. Either I can pass x and y, or y and z, anything, or directly I can pass some values like this 100, 50. It is also right. Okay, instead of passing variables, here I was passing the values directly. It is also correct. Okay, so a sub of 100, 50, what happened? For the next time you are calling the second function, that is sub. The function sub will get executed now. So, for a I was passing the value 100, and for b I was passing the value 50. What happened? So, inside the function definition we are finding the difference between a and b, that is 100 minus 50. The result is 50 is stored in the variable d, okay. Followed by that you are getting the output DIFF. So, in the output statement also you will get the output DIFF is equal to 50. Right. So, like this, within a single program, depends upon the user's need, we can include as many number of function, okay. So, this function add and sub can be called n number of times, okay. For how many number of times, if there is a need to call a function, we can call it again and again. For example, again I can call the same sub function with another one value 2, 1. It is possible, okay. So, the same function is defined once and it can be called n number of times. It is called as modular programming, as well as it is the concept of code reusability. I was writing the code once, right, but I can call the function for n number of times, okay. So, this is the concept of function. Have you all understood? Right. So, hope you have each and everyone understood the concept of function, about the definition of function, the need of function, and the types of function. Under that, built-in function is there and user-defined function is there. We are much more concentrating on the user-defined function, right. In order to define a function, we need two important components. One is function definition, another one is function call, okay. So, that is explained along with an example. So, in this example, two functions, I had written two functions, one is add, another one is sub, okay. Everyone understood, I think so. Thank you, students.